What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
Oh, the kissing booth ending. Where do we start? Did Elle and Noah end up together? What was the deal with Noah throughout the entire film? Also, why were they facing the same issues from the second film? Without further ado, here are all the things that don't make sense in the Kissing Booth 3. Elle and her freshman year. Here's a fact. Freshmen aren't allowed to live off campus, and the Kissing Booth creators somehow forgot about this, or they've simply come up with their own rule. In the third film of the franchise, which was also the final one, Elle was accepted into both Harvard and UC Berkeley. If she decides she wants to go to Harvard, she would also choose her boyfriend.
When you get off the wait list for Harvard, maybe you and I could go off campus and get an apartment together.
Noah. During the film, he says to her something like, "Let's live together once we go to Harvard." Well, Noah, that's not how things work. In fact, she has to live on campus in her freshman year. It is one of the rules Harvard people follow. Also, isn't she supposed to make friends? Focus on herself? Wasn't the message of the Kissing Booth 3 linked to that choose yourself storyline? It appears that this is the same issue with Lee. He also believes he and Elle would live in an apartment once she chooses Berkeley. They'll need a lot of money for that, right? To be honest, the storyline isn't much of a problem. Just wait until you hear the next ones. The deadlines. U.S. colleges have national deadlines by which students must accept or decline entry. Elle is acting like this is not a big deal once Harvard and Berkeley start calling her. She ignores them and lives a careless summer. Also, during the film, Elle once answers a call from Berkeley and says she needs again to extend her time for a decision. This doesn't happen in reality because other students are waiting for their applications to be approved. So these colleges don't have a lot of understanding as opposed to what is presented in the Kissing Booth 3. It's simple. Skip college orientation. Lee and Rachel's relationship also faced a lot of issues in the third film. One of them included college orientation schedules that Rachel and Lee needed to attend. You see, Lee is asking her to forget about their college orientation schedules and focus on their amazing summer.
Yeah, I figured we could skip orientation so that we could spend more time together.
Lee simply assures that that is what his girlfriend wants to do. We can't ignore the selfish character of Lee in this situation, and again, orientations are usually mandatory, so he might cause trouble because of how important summer is to him. The Dance Mania game. At the end of the franchise, Lee and Elle find out that the arcade is getting rid of their special Dance Mania. The Dance Mania game played a key role in the two other films, so it really is a big deal. After Elle felt overwhelmed by her summer responsibilities and after she ditched Lee once, they got into a big fight over Elle's attention to Lee and their bucket list. Then, they resolve things and Elle comes back to her dad's house only to discover the Dance Mania game in the garage. This was perhaps one of the best gestures Lee ever did for Elle, but a lot of fans wonder how Lee got the game if the game was removed from the arcade. Then again, this is a pretty expensive thing to buy. Maybe Lee's mother bought it. Who knows? We just know that there was never any explanation of how Lee got the game. The friendship. So, when Elle finally made a decision to go to Harvard, things got even more complicated. She told Lee she chose Harvard. Lee was initially angry, but he eventually understood he shouldn't be angry over the success of his best friend. So things were good for a while until, well, Lee finds a new friend. A friend who just finished up his first year at Berkeley. This is where things don't make any sense. Why is Elle jealous? She has no reason to feel that way when she sees Lee hanging out with some guy. Isn't he allowed to have other friends than her? Is that a rule he should follow? We're really sorry, but Elle had no right to feel that way. Elle wasn't a spoiled person who always wanted things to go her way. Instead, we knew Elle as a pure-hearted soul. But there's a bigger problem than this that went contradictory to how we felt for Elle. We're talking about Elle's hate for Linda. This scene in which Elle gets angry with his father for being with Linda made a lot of fans angry. Elle's father finally finds someone he loves after her mother passed away, but his happiness means nothing for Elle, at least at the beginning of the third film. At one point, Elle even tells Linda she shouldn't be here and tells her father he's being selfish for trying to find someone else that's not her mother.
I don't really care what you want.
Elle.
Linda, you don't belong here.
To be fair, Elle's father spoke the words that a lot of fans would have said if they had the chance to talk with Elle at that moment.
I spent the last 6 years of my life making sure that you and Brad are my only priority.
He says to her she has no idea what he's been through, and he practically calls her selfish. We really don't see any sense in the storyline, as Linda never did anything wrong. She wasn't one of those dad's new girlfriends that are evil. In fact, Linda was even trying to help Elle. She even took care of Elle's little brother when she couldn't. She completely understood how difficult it was for Elle to see someone else in her mom's place, but she really acted like a spoiled child here. Living in the beach house. The Kissing Booth 3 practically follows the same issues Noah, Elle, and Lee faced in the second film. And just like the Kissing Booth 2, Noah again breaks up with Elle, and she and Lee also go through an intense fight. Noah, Elle, Lee, and Rachel are living in Flynn's beach house for the summer, but after all these fights, after the intense breakup, Elle somehow decided to keep living in the Flynn's beach house. All uncomfortable moments would have been avoided if she simply moved into her own house. Noah and Lee have decided to go back to their main house, but Rachel and Elle stayed there. The fact that the beach house belongs to the Flynn brothers means that Elle is the one who has to move out, not the brothers. This doesn't make a lot of sense, right? The for sale sign. After Lee keeps removing the for sale sign in his front yard of the beach house, Noah decides it is best to cement it in the grass with concrete. This is a silly decision made by a rather intelligent character. Lee again finds a way to stop the selling when he changes the number on the sign, but the house will be sold eventually, and once the buyer moves in, they would want to remove the sign. Well, they won't be able to because Noah decided to cement it. Maybe he wanted the future owners to rip up the grass and get it out? What do you guys think? Are Elle and Noah together? The ending in Kissing Booth 3 angered a lot of fans. After a 6-year time jump following Elle and Noah's struggles, they were reunited. The thing is, the Kissing Booth 3 had an open ending. Their meeting is followed by several awkward moments where they talk about a motorcycle that Elle bought for herself. So the next time he's back in Los Angeles, they agree to go on a ride together. The Kissing Booth 3 then ends with Noah and Elle riding around Los Angeles on their motorcycles. Do they end up together? While most fans needed an answer, another group believes this is the way the Kissing Booth was supposed to end. Other aspects needed more exploration, such as Lee's relationship with Rachel. We find out they're all married and all, but we never saw how that exactly happened. All of these questions can only be answered with a fourth film. Is there a thing that doesn't make sense in the Kissing Booth 3 that we forgot to mention? Let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed our video, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. As always, thanks for watching.